What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Affan, and today we're gonna watch this show called Better Call Saul. We're in season 2, episode 8. We're in. I don't know how to say this. It's FIFI or FIFI. I'm not entirely sure, but FIFI is the name of this episode. Now then, a little bit about the previous episode before we jump into this one. It's a pretty interesting episode. We learned a couple of things. One of which was that Wexler and McGill is not going to be a thing. They're going to share the expenses of two different firms. That is Kim Wexler and Jimmy McGill. So they're going to build two different firms and they're going to share the cost. So they're going to be in one building. They're going to do their own separate things because Jimmy wanted to do things his way, and his way is, as he puts it, colorful. Whereas Kimmy is very straight, by the book, very legal, very, like plain, I guess you could say, or one color. And so obviously she doesn't want to get stained by all the colors of Jimmy, or rather her firm. So they decided in the end that they're going to do their own firms, separate firms, but they're going to share the costs. And so it's a good idea, I think. For a starter business. And I'm excited to see how they're going to move on from there. Then there was Mike scouting that restaurant where Tuco and them boys meet, the Salamancas. He did look a bit angry. I mean, wouldn't you too when you get literally bullied by these people who will kill for no reason, you know what I mean? He did get a bit of money out of it, though, but still, it wasn't something that he wanted to do. It was something that he was forced to do. So he did look a bit angry, so I'm not entirely sure if what he's planning there. He's a very level-headed guy, Mike, so I don't expect him to do something too rash, too irrational, but we'll see what exactly is happening there. We did learn that his daughter-in-law is going to be buying a house as well, which is quite expensive. Thanks for letting me know, by the way, the broker or whatever, agent, realtor, woman, it was the same from Breaking Bad. So that's why I thought I knew her. I was like, I feel like I know who she is. I feel like I know that face. And well, I do, because I've seen her before. Of course, there was the whole fiasco with Jimmy trying to get fired because he wants to save his bonus, and he does it successfully, and then he gets fired, and so he keeps the bonus, and he's not going to start his own firm. And obviously, there was a little flashback scene with Jimmy and his father, and we learn a bit more about who his father was and why Jimmy is the way he is right now. So he wasn't like this before, but then he became like this after maybe that event, or maybe there are more along the way. But we learned that there's definitely more to that story than the way Chuck told it. And, that's yet again another example of Chuck manipulating information and presenting it in a way that favors his argument, which is what Jimmy does. And that's the argument that Chuck makes against Jimmy. So, I mean, if you're going to do the same thing as Jimmy, then, well, what are you trying to say? You're no different. So what's the point you're trying to make? You invalidate your own point by doing the stuff that Jimmy does. But I guess the only way to beat Jimmy is to play dirty, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe Chuck knows that because he is his brother at the end of the day. And Chuck is a very smart guy. So maybe he has realized that the only way to beat his little bro is by playing his little bro's game. And maybe he's doing that. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'm giving him way too much credit. But yeah, it's pretty clear that Chuck has this bias against his brother. He doesn't want him to move too far ahead in life. He's trying to keep him down, or at least by being a lawyer or an attorney, he doesn't want him to do too much. But it did make me think, though, and I don't think that's the case, but it just made me think, why tell Kim that story at all? Presenting it the way he presented, fine, he has a thing against his brother, they're sort of battling each other, so okay, fine, that's fair game, you're playing Jimmy's game, but why tell Kim that story, and in that fashion, without any evidence, without any solid proof that Jimmy did what you say he did? Why do that? What happens when you tell that story? Does it affect Jimmy? Well, the only way it affects Jimmy is Kim will break up with him. And I'm like, well, that's a really low blow if you think about it. I mean, yeah, sure, you don't want him to be a lawyer because he is the way he is. Look, I'm not going to defend his ways. What he's doing is wrong. It's just plain and simple. He's an asshole. He's a con. He manipulates people. That we know. So fine, okay, you don't want him to work for your firm. You don't want him to work for any firm, really, because even at Davis and Main, he was uncomfortable with him, and he was coming to these meetings to make him uncomfortable so he can't perform as well as he can. But why tell Kim? Could it be that you just want Kim to be away from him? But if Kim is away from him, what does that mean for Jimmy? Right, so they have to break up. Now, that's a personal battle you're taking on. That's no longer about job or career. It's very personal. So if that is what it is, which I won't hold against Chuck, he seems to have no limit of what he can or will do when it comes to Jimmy. He says he does, but he doesn't. I mean, the guy literally tortures himself just to go and mess with Jimmy. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's pretty interesting sort of dynamic there with the two brothers. And yeah, I wonder when Jimmy's going to break, though, because so far it's been Chuck messing with Jimmy, and Jimmy have not really done anything to Chuck. When is that going to stop? When is Jimmy going to be like, all right, whatever, dude, I don't even care. You're my older brother. I cared for you so much. You keep stabbing me in the back. Enough is enough. Now I'm coming for you. When is he going to be Saul Goodman with Chuck? That's what I'm waiting for at this point. Now then. I said a little bit and I said a lot. That happens quite often. Anyways, it's just the beauty of the show. It goes to show how complex these characters are and how complex the show in general is, that you start out by thinking you're just going to mention a couple of things, and then you mention so many things that you didn't even think about, because the more you speak about it, the more you think about it, the more things come into your mind, man. Any which ways, let's jump into episode 8 without any further ado. Regalo de nuestra? What was that? Ah, it's el border. Wow, that's a huge line. Hey, they got a little fruits or whatever, vegetables shop. Oh, I'm loving this music. It's kinda like intense, but also not intense, you know what I mean? Crim freight. They arrested him? Wait, what is it? Okay. One shot so far. It's very similar to the Los Pues Hermanos trucks, you know? It's still one shot, by the way. They haven't cut off. It's all good? It's ice cream. There's something on your back. It's that beetle that was on Donna's back. Okay. Nuestra familia la saya. Okay. From our family to your water. To yours. So yeah, okay. Yeah, it says the same thing it says in a truck. From our family to yours. I think. I said that with so much confidence. I think that's what that means. I'm learning Spanish, man. A dog.
This is perfect.
Yep, the doghouse. This is where Jesse used to sell his meth. It was also here when he was throwing his monies away, right?
That letter into Howard's office tonight. You call Mesa Verde and your other clients, you bring them along. Listen, you do this the right way, you wait, you tell Howard to his face, he'll sink his dirty hooks into Mesa Verde.
The point of this is for you to be your kind of lawyer and me to be mine.
He's got a point, though. He's got a point, though. You know. And I want that hot dog. I'll take a cold dog as well, as long as it's a dog. Or a bit.
Hey, Kim, can we make this quick? I'm kind of swamped right now.
I only need a few minutes.
Great. What's up?
Howard, could we do this in your office? Please?
He saw a letter in her hand.
I'm not going to another firm. I'm starting my own. I figured I'd try giving it a go as a solo practitioner.
I don't know if you need to tell him that. That whole Mesa Verde thing. Now he's definitely gonna
Thing I needed to do.
The week Jimmy exits
talk to them.
you decide to leave us? That can't just be happenstance.
Does she really need to tell him all this? Oh, come on.
Expenses. One office, but 2 separate practices.
I don't like this.
I'm grateful for everything you and the firm have done for me, especially the financial help with my schooling. And I'm ready to write a check for the remainder of the loan. I just need accounting to get me that figure.
No need. Our gift to you. You earned it.
Oh, okay. This guy's a weirdo. He can be such a good guy and then such an asshole at the same time. I guess this is how people are. That's how I am. Everybody's like that, isn't it?
Logo.
I think that might be like the first natural smile we've seen from him in this show so far.
Kim, I want you to know that I always pushed you harder because I knew that I could expect more from you. Good luck to you.
He's kind of a robot. The way he moves, like people shake hands like this, not.
Calling now.
Oh, lovely. Told ya. And so did Jim. In heels. Damn.
Checking that we're still on for lunch on Monday. Great. And Kevin too? Good. Well, before we meet, there's some news you need to know about.
Okay. That was funny. It's quite a sprinter she is, eh? Oh, this is the regal. Oh, that's Mike scoping the place. Yeah, that is that truck. What exactly is he trying to do here? Is another one of them jobs with Nacho?
I am not the safe choice. I believe, however, that I am the right choice. So why do you prefer a tailor-made suit? Because it fits you, and you alone. Because either you fit the jacket, or the jacket fits you. Mesa Verde as my sole client will take up the entirety of my attention. But if this were beyond my abilities, I wouldn't be throwing my hat in the ring. I would not waste your time, or mine.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Kim, we're in here.
Is the building they're buying? Or leasing or whatever?
I was just getting the tour. Kim, this is Steve. Hi, Steve.
They're buying a barber shop? Or like
I
a...
think it's a dentist's office.
I was going to say doctor. Okay.
2
Dentist. Same thing.
each the exact same size with a mirrored layout. The other one is the next door over. They share one lobby, one reception area, so egalitarian as hell. Kim?
Yeah, it's great. Soundproofing.
She's a bit...
Steve, Mesa Verde said no.
They said yes? Okay.
Okay, I'm getting mixed signals. You got Mesa Verde?
Yes. I mean, there's nothing in writing yet, but the lunch went... It kicked ass. It was a little touch and go there.
Nothing in writing yet.
Paige pitched in, and she really talked me up, and then once that door cracked open...
High five. Fantastic.
That was a pretty good high five, man.
Badmouth HHM, not at all, but I was, like, enthusiastic.
It's not always that perfect, you know.
The regular thumbs up, the double thumbs up. 2.
Double barrel.
Boom, boom. Just like that.
I knew it. Yeah, I love seeing you like this.
She's so excited and happy, yeah.
So we're gonna keep these chairs?
Does that mean you like this office?
Let's do it.
All right.
Hell yeah.
On the chair? I don't know why I don't feel too good about this.
We're losing Mesa Verde. Going with Kim Wexler. She left the firm. She's going into private practice. Is that she's pooling her resources with Jimmy.
Kim and my brother, partners at law.
Not partners.
He's Svengali. The man is Svengali.
At any rate, back to Mesa. Chuck.
I forgot what exactly Senegali means, but it's not a good thing, right? It's like someone who's bad or something.
Chuck. I really need your help here.
Oh, you mentioned Jimmy. He's on it. That's it. Let's go.
Chuck.
No. He's already. Wow, that was an almost sneeze. He's very much okay. Yeah, he's game. It's game time.
I'm going to the meeting, and the lights stay on. Everyone keeps their phones. Everything stays, for lack of a better word, normal.
The lengths he's willing to go against Jimmy. I mentioned it at the start. He was fine until he mentioned Jimmy. And another thing, Howard did not correct him when he said partners with. They're not partners, or are they? It didn't sound like they are. He's Superman with his cape. Everyone's like, whoa, him with the lights and everything?
Kim Wexler is indeed the right choice to handle Mesa Verde. She's young, she's brilliant.
I was like, yo, I asked you for help.
She's the future. Two old guys like us, we're the past.
Well, that's a sad thought.
Sad, but banking law needs to be exciting. Let me tell you how boring I am. I read FEC and ISO reports for entertainment.
He does. I can attest to that.
Well, I try to stay up on things. The rules are changing all the time. With everything that's happened with Enron and WorldCom, the government is extra vigilant. These days, the penalties for even the most honest of errors can be devastating. You need a sharp, young eye to catch that stuff. I mean, when you've specialized in this kind of work for decades on end, you tend to get kind of
Stale.
Okay. Okay, it's all part of the plan.
The Community Reinvestment Act. Any bank such as Mesa Verde looking to open a de novo branch is definitely going to need to show a healthy portfolio of CRA compliance. Duh. Obviously. You guys have all that covered, I'm sure. Regal Neal. Interstate Banking and Branching Efficiency Act. There's another mouthful, huh? Boring. Still, if you were to run afoul of it, it could hold you up in court for years. And by the way, if that were to happen to you folks as you go forward without us, which it will not, Howard has contacts at the Fed who could help sort things out.
One or two. Uh-oh. I told ya. Oh, she was too happy. It was too good, that scene.
I apologize. When you reach your golden years, you tend to get a little long-winded, ramble on and on.
Yeah, they know what's going on.
Your bank is in excellent hands.
They know what's going on. The smile on that woman's face, she's like, who are you trying to fool? Come on.
But I have to say, I have complete confidence in Miss Wexler.
You should. She was part of our team. She learned from us. You won't find better. No matter how talented one individual may be, the needs of Mesa Verde are too big to handle alone. I wouldn't handle your coming expansion alone, which is why you should consider, once again, enlisting a team of professionals.
Glad we did this.
Anytime. We are there for you, day and night.
Wow.
That was amazing. You were fantastic. Truly. Oh, Chuck?
Turn the lights off.
Ernie! Hang on.
Alente's willing to go. It's not about Kim, obviously not. He was fine with Kim. It's all about Jimmy. And this is what I was saying. See, he's doing these things to Jimmy. Jimmy hasn't done anything like this to him. Well, not that we know of, at least.
And here she is, gentlemen.
Fifi. Okay, Fifi.
Major Theodore Fudge Talbot. Bring back some memories for you. Too many to count, he said.
I gotta say, Major Talbot, it's a privilege. Thank you for your service.
He says you're welcome.
That was a very long, you're welcome.
Nuts! I forgot his water.
Oh, hey, I can run back to the office, get him a bottle.
You could.
Fine, I'll be back ASAP.
All right. He's not.
Whatever.
Where the hell did you find this guy? You couldn't get a real war hero?
How are you gonna find?
I had to fix the.
Public masturbation. Total bullshit.
All right, keep your voice down. You do not possess.
You masturbated over total bullshit.
Let's go.
Sounds like a Jimmy kind of case.
Okay, the bomber's the main point, so see it.
I see the frickin' bomber. You couldn't just plop the dude in front of a flag. Why do we have to come here?
Production value, showmanship. You rolling?
Yeah, rolling.
You're shooting an ad?
Start the. You're part of the greatest.
That's the dolly.
You fought the Nazis.
You wanted the cheapest one, eh?
Gene was used in the Pacific, where the Japanese are.
Why don't you shut up and learn to take some direction?
Japanese.
All right, fine. You fucking dirty Axis power. World, you're heroic. Not that heroic. Just throw it away a little more. Okay, good. Veins, look up. Picture a bald eagle soaring.
This guy's an amazing director in it. I wondered if he actually directs, like, stuff. Maybe some of these episodes. Very likely. Sometimes people do that, you know?
He's, I don't know, bad, shaking. I've never seen him like this. He keeps telling me not to call a doctor. He had a big meeting there today.
Okay, here's what you're gonna do. Wrap him in a space plane.
Uh-oh, the people are coming.
The under one.
Wrap him in.
Whoa. That's a lot of people. He was gonna get just a bottle, wasn't he? They find out he's not real?
Oh, I gotta go. Not a problem.
Would you mind if the guys and I took a picture with you?
Oh. I'm like,
He loves pictures. Here, give me the camera.
Here's
I'll
your
take
a lot of people came.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, they're soldiers, so they would want a picture with war hero.
it. Smile.
Jeez.
Oh, lovely. This whole sequence was brilliant. Kleinfeld. Nice car, Jimbo.
You ready to sign? Let's do this. What?
Mesa Verde, no longer with her. There it is.
So what happened?
There's stick HHM. Paige said they went over there this afternoon for some kind of courtesy meeting, or so she thought, and Kevin got his head turned. Chuck.
Yep. You didn't believe him. Kim, when he told you, you did not believe him. Now you know.
You still up for doing this? Maybe we need to slow down and really, think about this.
Ooh, she's second guessing herself.
Very expensive lease.
Something like this happens. You're there to help me.
I'm there to help you, yeah. Scratch my back, I scratch yours. You lick my bone.
So, you still want to do this?
Yeah. Still got the ring. Ooh. Does he have second? Not sure what that was. Was that him realizing Chuck did it to mess with him, or was that him, like, second guessing this move? Not entirely sure. Okay, Maiko is after these guys. What is he up to? He wouldn't be so stupid to do something against him. I think he needs the money because he needs the house for his daughter-in-law. And he's trying to do a job. I think this might be a nacho job. There he is. Is he looking at him? Oh, I think he's looking at the ground.
It's okay. I'm here now. And next time you see Howard, tell him you need a raise. A big one.
Ernie's a good guy. He's been there. Done pretty much everything for Chuck. Ah. Uh-oh. He cannot resist. Uh-oh. His mouth is watering. Yeah, look, he's swallowing. His mouth's watering. He literally cannot resist. It's like me with sweets. Ah. A day without dessert is a day wasted. Uh-oh. Oh, come on. What is he up to? Is he gonna get Kim in trouble? Like, that's really the only thing I'm worried about. Like, You guys already know I don't really like Chuck. If it hurts Chuck, good. But not Kim, though. The thing is, every time he tries to do something for Kim, it ends up hurting her even more, do you know what I mean? Is he awake? No. Okay. I thought he might be like playing sleep. I almost said playing dead. But kind of like playing dead. Same concept. What is he doing? Is he forging documents? Like, that's like illegal. Do you know what I mean? Like, before, the stuff he was doing was like unethical at best. Do you know what I mean? But not illegal. This seems... What is he doing? So why don't for dragging down? Don't you know it's the best one? Why don't you do it? He's making errors in them. That has to be illegal too, right? That's kind of the same as forging documents, right? Okay. So that's how you forge documents, huh? Not that I am planning anything, you know what I mean? But like, good to know. So why don't you... He's gonna be awake? I was gonna put them back. No, he isn't. I'm telling you, he's awake. I'm telling you, he's awake. I think he's playing Jimmy. Oh, every time they like go from the blurry to focus on him, I'm like, his eyes are gonna open. Does he have cameras in his house? Well, he doesn't have any electricity in his house. Unless it's a whole ploy. And he does have cameras in his house, and he's doing it to like mess with Jimmy or something, you know what I mean? Or just with people in general. Make him think there's nothing here. No one's watching. And he is. That'd be kind of genius. I mean, Chuck is a genius. Well played. Okay, so these documents are going to go to Mesa Verde, and that's going to be wrong, and they're going to be like, you guys are messing up. Well, he wasn't there for the speech Chuck gave. Chuck talked about how he was old and stuff, right? Well, someone who's old would make like that sort of a mistake. It's quite easy, right? They're getting old, they're getting out of touch, so on and so forth. That is even more genius now, because it actually goes along well with what Chuck himself said. But I think that's a coincidence, because Jimmy didn't hear that.
Just had to do it, huh? Couldn't stand to let Kim have Mesa Verde. You had to swipe it from her.
We retained our client.
You and Howard never even heard about Mesa Verde till Kim brought it.
Yeah, that's true.
Red velvet pillow.
Not even a thank you. Wow.
Thanks for staying with me.
There you go. Finally.
I know we have our issues. If things were reversed, I hope you know that I would do the same for you.
I don't think he does, and I don't think I do either. I don't think you would. I don't think so.
You done this before?
We learned about fractions in school. Half inch, quarter inch, eighth inch, 16th inch.
You are much smarter than I was when I was your age.
Seems like how it is.
Better teachers.
That is kind of true as well. Yeah.
You're gonna have to wear these if you're gonna handle the heavy machinery.
Why don't you have to wear them?
Because pop-pops are grown-up. And grown-ups get to be stupid. Pull.
We're making a special house.
I needed a soaker for the rhododendrons out back. But you, young lady, were a big help. Ooh, love you, girl.
Oh, listen, Walter. You are no longer my husband, and no longer...
Whoa, what is he?
Being editor and reporter, but not you.
That's quite a sprinkler right there.
Forgotten all about it, but not you. You're losing your eye. You used to be able to pitch better than that. Hello? Yeah, what?
That's the end. All right. That is the end. That was quite an episode. Really well shot as well. I really like that episode. A lot going on. Before I talk more about that episode, if you want to see the full-length reaction, also if you want to see these videos earlier, they go up first on Patreon, and the full-length reactions are there on Patreon as well. Link in the description, check it out. Thank you so very much, every single one of you, for supporting me all this time. Patrons and people on YouTube, both of you. I appreciate your support. Now then, let's start from the beginning. That open, one shot, no cuts, very Breaking Bad-like. Loved it. It was really good. Very well done. I loved the music. It was pretty good. They were telling a story without telling you much. They were showing you, which is always good. Which is something this show and Breaking Bad both are pretty good at. They don't tell, they show, and I love when movies and shows do that. So they did a really good job with that, and they did that not just with that scene, but furthermore with some of the other scenes, right? The Mesa Verde thing with Jimmy, and also Mike making the pipe thing, and before that, scouting the areas and so on and so forth. So they nailed that. Well, speaking of nails, what was Mike doing there at the end? It doesn't seem like he's doing what he said he's doing. If that is the case, and if he's using that for the job, which I think the job that he's doing, I don't know if he's doing a job or what he's doing, then he just had his granddaughter help him with that. Doesn't that make her an accomplice? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that was great. We got to see sort of Mike's perspective of how he gets things done, like a behind the scenes with Mike and the research and the work that he does before going in to do a job. We had seen Mike to be this thorough guy, this guy who does his research, who's very clever, very careful, very observant, but we never actually got to see the process, his method, right? His system to his chaos, right? So it was pretty good to see. We would see it before from like Jesse's point of view, or Gus's, or mostly Walt's, but never his own. So this was a pretty good change there. But yeah, the opening was great. That was great. And there was the whole Kim and Mesa Verde thing. Kim sprinting out of there. By the way, Howard is a robot. I swear to God, that guy, he smiles on command. He becomes serious on command. He shakes his hand on command. He says things that you want to hear, and you're like, oh, he's a nice guy. And then she leaves the room, and no, he's not. He's not a nice guy. He's not at all a nice guy. Mesa Verde was something that she brought to you. You had nothing to do with this. You had never even heard of it before. Like Jimmy said, it belongs to Kim. Why are you doing this? Well, we know why they're doing this. Why Chuck is doing this. I don't know. Howard, I think, just wants to retain the client. Chuck made it personal, as he often does, which is why I say he's a hypocrite. That's the reason why I dislike him, is because he says one thing, does another. Is he wrong? I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. No, he's not wrong, but he's a hypocrite, so he's wrong for that. But whatever you say about Chuck, though, he's very good. He's very smart. That was perfect what he did there in that meeting, setting the scene so well, telling them to go with King, but not really telling them to go to him, kind of doing a reverse psychology thing. And then at the end, what Jimmy does, Jimmy's little plan of messing up the numbers, switching the 6 and the 1, I mean, that goes in really well with what Chuck said. Now, it's a coincidence because Jimmy doesn't know what Chuck said, but it works out really well in Jimmy's favor, or rather Kim's favor, because that is exactly what they were talking about. We're getting old. You want the new generation, right? They're faster, they're quicker, they're sharper. Well, that's what that's proving. Chuck told Mesa Verde that they are getting old, and now they have proof of them getting old and incompetent, most importantly. And then there's the whole situation, Chuck's situation, right? His health situation, he's not looking too good either. So that's something that I think Jimmy might have had in his mind when he did this. Like, oh, look, Chuck is not really on his fullest, you know what I mean? He's not able to do the job that he was once able to do. So it works out well in the end. The whole ad sequence, I think that's an ad that Jimmy was shooting for his new firm, the war veteran thing. It was hilarious. It was so good. That war veteran was hilarious as well. cheese when they're taking the picture. It was amazing. It was very well done. It was great. I'm telling you, Jimmy, he has a career as a director. If law doesn't work out, you definitely have a career as a director. He looked pretty good. I wonder if he has actually directed any of these episodes or anything else for that matter. Now, the big question. Jimmy changes the docs. Will someone pick up on that? Will that backfire on Kimmy? Like I said before, whenever Jimmy tries to help Kim, it almost always backfires. He makes it worse for Kim. And that's why I was scared. I'm like, is he going to make this one worse for Kim as well? Or is this actually going to work out? Is he going to get away with this? Is Chuck going to pick up on it? Because look, everything's fine. Then Jimmy shows up, sends Ernesto home. In that period, well, he doesn't know if it's that period, but you could, if you are Chuck and you already have this bias against Jimmy and you know that Jimmy is this guy who will go to that level, although, like I said at the start, so far Jimmy has not done anything to Chuck. He has only been helpful to Chuck. So you might not think of it that way, but he might, since things are getting a bit heated now. Things have changed significantly since the start of the show. And all of a sudden, the numbers have flipped, right? He came over, he spent the night with you, and now the numbers have flipped. He might be able to pick up on it. I'm not entirely sure, but Jimmy looked like he did pretty good job, very thorough, pretty much like Mike. That's actually another great parallel they drew between those two characters. Mike doing a bit of research on his bullies, right? I mean, he is a bully. The Salamancas, all of them really are bullies. And then there's Jimmy's bully, Chuck, right? Chuck has recently sort of been bullying Jimmy as well. So then Jimmy is doing something against his bullies as well, both sort of standing up to their bullies. Although I'm not entirely sure what exactly Mike is planning. But yeah, all good things. This was a brilliant episode. I enjoyed it a lot of setup, a lot of things are happening, and I don't know when they're gonna execute it, but I'm very much looking forward to it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, do drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, check out my Patreon. Like I said, these videos go up early there. I also have full-length reaction there. Thank you so much, every single one of you, for supporting me all this time, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, have a nice